Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so have you ever wondered why incredibly smart, hardworking people often find their careers just inexplicably stalled? I mean, we see it all the time, right? Someone has all the technical skills in the world, they literally put in the hours, and yet they just can't seem to break through to that next level of leadership or influence. Well, today, we're decoding the hidden behavioral patterns that actually dictate professional success, pulling some absolutely crucial insights from the book Mastering Professional Etiquette. Now, I want you to really think about this for a second. What if the reason your career feels stuck isn't actually your intelligence? You know, it's totally natural to assume that if we just get another certification or learn another software program or simply grind out a few more hours, we'll finally get the recognition we deserve. But if you've ever felt overlooked despite your obvious technical brilliance, you kind of have to start looking beyond just raw skills. There's actually an invisible metric being used to evaluate you every single day. And here is the profound truth of the matter. It's how people feel when they interact with you. Talented professionals rarely lose their influence because of incompetence. No, they lose it because of the emotional wake they leave behind in their daily interactions. People naturally resist environments, and colleagues for that matter, where they feel emotionally unseen or undervalued. So, no matter how ridiculously smart you are, if people hesitate to work with you, your influence is basically capped.
Section 1. The silent workplace habit.
So let's look at how this actually plays out in a typical office setting, because the damage is often really quiet and incremental. There are symptoms of what's called relational friction. You've almost certainly experienced this. The endless email chains, or that thinly veiled passive-aggressive per my last email tension in a meeting, or projects just bouncing back and forth with piling revisions. But here's the thing, when you see this kind of relational friction, realize that it's not usually happening because people don't know how to do their jobs. It's happening because simple tasks have become emotionally heavy. One person feels unheard, another feels dismissed, someone else feels blamed, and when that happens, the work literally grinds to a halt.
Section 2. Empathy as strategic intelligence.
This brings us to a huge paradigm shift in how we view workplace skills. This is the difference between just being nice and actually being effective. Empathy is not a weakness. It's not just some soft skill. It is cold, hard, strategic intelligence. Think about the contrast. Sympathy says, I feel bad for you. That creates emotional comfort, which is fine, but it doesn't really solve the problem. Empathy, on the other hand, says, I understand what's making this difficult. And that is a real game changer. Empathy creates emotional cooperation, and cooperation is the exact soil where your professional influence grows. The absolute most respected leaders aren't the loudest, they're the ones who truly understand how their team experiences pressure and confusion.
Section 3. A tale of two managers.
Okay, let's ground this theory in a totally relatable reality. Imagine two managers dealing with the exact same struggling employee. Manager 1 relies on blunt force. This keeps happening, you need to do better. Well, is it direct? Yes. Is it actually helpful? Not really. It immediately spikes the employee's defensiveness. Now consider Manager 2. I feel like something in this process isn't working properly for you. Can you help me understand where the breakdown is happening? Do you notice that shift? The second manager investigates the experience rather than attacking the person. Immediately, the employee relaxes. Defensiveness drops, the conversation becomes productive instead of combative. People will absolutely always remember how safe or unsafe communication felt around you.
Section 4. The cost of resistance.
So, let's explore the actionable changes you can make right now. I honestly challenge you to try this in your very next difficult interaction. Instead of reacting with, why didn't you do this properly, or you're not getting it, phrases that, let's be real, instantly build walls, just pause, take a breath. Try asking, can you help me understand what made this difficult? Or say, I think we may be seeing this differently. It's such a small shift in phrasing, but it has a massive impact. You're using questions to build bridges of understanding instead of creating friction.
You see, emotionally intelligent communication reduces resistance. And why does that matter to the bottom line? Because resistance is incredibly expensive. When people literally do not want to work with you, it wastes time, it drains energy, it stifles creativity because people are just afraid to speak up, it completely erodes trust, and ultimately it costs you opportunities. The professionals who rise the fastest are simply the ones who make collaboration feel emotionally lighter.
Section 5. Your emotional usability.
And this leads us to the ultimate metric that dictates your workplace trajectory. It's your emotional usability. Simply defined, how difficult is it to work with you under pressure? This is the silent question everyone is asking about you. When deadlines are super tight, when the project scope changes at the literal last minute, do you multiply the tension or do you reduce it?
Your answer to this invisible test dictates your promotions, who trusts you with leadership roles, and the overall breadth of your influence.
As explored in Mastering Professional Etiquette, this is what true executive presence actually looks like. Professional etiquette is not about knowing which fork to use at a fancy dinner, right? It's about understanding the hidden behavioral patterns that shape things like trust, leadership, communication, collaboration, and professional influence. It's the ability to lead with undeniable authority while still utilizing the emotional awareness necessary to keep respect and psychological safety completely intact.
Which brings us to this incredibly powerful concluding thought. If your influence feels limited, the issue may not be competence, it may be connection. It's such a profound takeaway. If you feel like you're hitting a ceiling, stop looking at your resume and start looking at your relationships. So I'm going to leave you with this to ponder today. If your colleagues were asked right now to rate your emotional usability, how difficult would they say it is to work with you when things get really hard?